Alright guys, so for now this is going to be the last video for the gun doubles hip. We'll probably end up revisiting it once the game gets updated or I find new content for it. But as far as our basic intro videos to the gun doubles hip, this is going to be the last one, and we're going to be talking about the read option. We're going to be showing how to change the read key, how to utilize it versus different fronts, and how to use the halfback cutback, because you have a lot of control of the halfback coming out of a handoff animation this year, and you did last year too, to be fair. But especially with the read option, if you create like a stand-up defender, and I'll show you kind of what I mean. So if the outside linebacker is the guy who stands up and plays the quarterback, and I probably should have set this a little bit better. Let me go ahead and change my... Get out of here. Change my rules to play conservative. Conservative. And read option. Oops, I definitely flipped it by accident. Alright. So, what should happen is that outside linebacker should stand up, and I should be able to hand the ball off. And then you can kind of cut back. Now I got to shed immediately. But you'll see that because this outside linebacker is the guy that is playing the quarterback, there's this big gap in space right here, right? And yes, he does break down, but by the time he would get over there, it's just a little too late. I've already gained yardage. Now, there's a lot of different stuff you can do with motions and stuff to change the read key or change the way that this runs. So like against 3-3 Cub, you'll see that these outside linebackers, if they're not pinched in, you can do, you can motion this guy out a little bit more, and then you get an extra blocker. So I could do this. You get the extra blocker on the safety. Or what I could do, and since this is man coverage, is I could completely remove this outside defender that's on Jerry Rice, get him completely out of the way. He'll follow Jerry across the formation, right? And now I can have a little bit more room to work with. My guys are not the best blockers, so they're getting absolutely shed to death. So let's see, what happens when the guy chases the running back, right? We take it off conservative, we'll go aggressive. And then I accompany that with this motion. Now I'm gone, right? Like if I have a really fast quarterback, now I'm giving them problems. And so if you're incorporating that motion into your passing scheme, it's not necessarily going to be a tell when you're running the ball. So if I'm motioning, if I'm running doesn't really matter. If I'm running any play passing wise and I'm motioning that receiver over and they're in a lot of man coverage, they won't be able to key in directly on the run. Now there's some formations, right? And it may not necessarily work with Cub because I don't run the ball a ton. I haven't done extensive testing with this, but you can actually change your read key. It probably won't work with Cub because this guy will fly over here. There you go. It actually does change the read key. Now it's in the slot corner. So the slot corner will chase the running back. And so even if you have a situation where, let's go ahead and back up, and you're on conservative. There we go. Alright. So let's go ahead and use that same motion. Read key is now the slot cornerback. And of course they blow it up right away when I'm trying to do an example, but see how this play kind of flows, where now you have a block here, and then this guy's too far out to really do anything with the running back. If you get a solid block on this guy, and of course this guy doesn't just immediately run and blow up the play. Like I can't even explain what I'm looking at right now. This guy really should be attacking him since he's head up on him, and then this guy should probably double team to the second level, but it's neither here nor there. Weird things happen. You have this gap right here where you can kind of follow Shannon Sharp. Now, of course, you can always do this too, right? Like moving a defender out of the way, we discussed that with motioning Jerry from right to left, but you can do the same thing from left to right now, right? So I can do something like this, and there's now one less defender over on the left. So if I wanted to, run this ball off the left, you can see that they didn't do a great job of blocking it on the edge, so I had to cut it up. But the concept is still there, and that'll work. I mean, this is a good front to stop the run, but if we were to do something like regular 3-3, let's call the cover 2 drop. Like, this is not as solid of a front, right? And now you'll notice we don't even have a read key over here, right? So how do you even determine that? Well, there's not one, so that's fantastic. I can take off my quarterback at any time, right? I can even probably pull in an extra blocker, but now he turns into the read key. And now it goes away. Now it comes back. So it's just know where the read key is, and like that's just an easy run. And pay attention to what he does. So, and then you can kind of manipulate it a little bit. Like I would even do something like this too to create another blocker on that front side. Oop, almost lost myself right there. You see my center is getting beat like a drum. But the read option, there's nothing too crazy about it. It's really effective in the red zone too, especially if they're using a really aggressive style of defense, they're expecting you to run, and you take off with that quarterback. It's just it's a soul crusher, backbreaker. You may even want to flip the formation too, so it doesn't look the same. I don't flip this formation enough. That's also another tip. I really do not flip this formation enough, and then everybody gets used to kind of where the routes are coming from, but. Get in the habit of doing that, you'll be better than me. So that's pretty much it for the read option. I mean, it's a great run. I wish we had an RPO, but we actually have other formations that we utilize RPOs. And I think those are actually more effective than the read options, if I'm being honest. And we'll show the read RPOs, I believe, are the ones that you can take off with the quarterback. So I can show you when and where to use that. But this is definitely a really solid run to complement our passing game, and don't sleep on it. My biggest flaw personally when I'm playing Madden is that I don't run the ball enough. It'll get stuffed once, and I'll be like, okay, I'm never running the ball again. Don't get in the habit of doing that, because then your opponent pass commits all the time. They don't have to respect the run whatsoever, and just like in real life, then they don't have to respect any play action. So.